Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Me Anything for January 22nd, 2026. I'm spiritual medium, psychotherapist, and author Kellee White. And let me say hi to just a few people, and then I'm going to go into so much because there is so much going on. And just lots to talk about tonight. And so let me just say hi to a few people. Hi, Melissa. I am going to be talking about grounding and spirituality and how to stay grounded in these turbulent times. So I will be talking about that. And Sherry, I'm glad that you're grateful that it's warm where you are, because tomorrow my high of where I live is -7. That's the high. And hi, Renee. There are a lot of synchronicities, aren't there? We'll be talking about some of that. And hi, Sasha. Yes, Sasha, first half of January, where did that go? I have no idea. It went very, very fast. Leslie says, looking forward to seeing you. Thank you. Gloria, you asked a great question here about if souls regret their decision to reincarnate at a certain time. I promise you I'm going to answer that question when I come to questions that I'm going to answer. So I wrote that one down. It's a great question. Hi, Stacy. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, tomorrow in Chicago, I think it's going to be -30. I think where I live, it starts at -7 and then just goes to -30 or 40 or something. It's so funny, everybody. I have a freezer coat. Actually, I'm from Los Angeles. I didn't even have coats there. Anyway, I have lots of coats now to choose from. And one coat that I have from Land's End, thank you, is a -25 coat, a freezer coat. And I think it's going to be not warm enough to wear that coat. Not that I'm going anywhere, except I will tell you what I do. I couldn't take not having bird food for my bird and my feeders. I couldn't take it. So I actually bundled up in that -25 coat, put on my hat, my gloves, everything. I went out and I fed those birds. And you know what? They went through it pretty darn quickly. So off to Farm and Fleet I will be going to get more food. That's right. This girl from Beverly Hills. Now I get everything at Farm and Fleet. Damnedest thing. Life is fascinating. You just never know. Orange Callie Marie says, Kellee, thrift shops are a great way to have great stuff and not end up in a landfill. But how do we cleanse off the energy from the previous owner? So as Leslie points out, that is such a great question. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to answer that question. Actually, I'm not going to answer that question. I have a special guest when I'm finished talking about a lot of this stuff that is going to be answering that question. So put a pin in that and we will definitely answer that. Okay? Because I think that's, hey, Rita, I hope you guys are staying warm. This polar vortex is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And for all my friends in Texas and in the South and my family, please stay warm, stay inside. This is an unbelievable time. Hi, Laura. Oh, my gosh, yes, a heavy, heavy energy. It is. Hey, Michelle Snowy Owl. And hey, Kim Ann, I have frozen my ass off. Yes, it's Snowmageddon. It's Snowmageddon Eve. That is so hilarious. And it's the truth. This is some period of time. But let's talk about some Vedic astrology, and then I'll get into our topic tonight. So tomorrow is a really special day. Tomorrow is January 23rd, and it's a really special day. It's called, I'm probably not going to pronounce this correctly, Vasant Panchami. And that is, Vasant Panchami is a day considered highly auspicious for learning and artistic pursuits and spiritual growth. So what it does is it invites us to slow down, to purify your thoughts, and align yourself with higher knowledge. So the day is dedicated to Goddess Saraswati, the divine embodiment of wisdom, learning, speech, music, and creative expression. So students and teachers and artists and writers and musicians and spiritual seekers really revere this day. It's a very important day because it's all about inner development. On this day, you should wear yellow or have something yellow around you because that is Goddess Saraswati's color. And what does it mean? It means new beginnings. It means purity and devotion. So it's a special day to honor yourself with wisdom and prosperity. And it even helps with, and I think it's very important, spring energy. which is really funny because I have yellow tulips back there. Here we go. And so that's tomorrow. And as we go a couple more days, we are headed into this energy. It's called eclipse energy. And I really want to talk about that because this is some deep energy that we're in. I mean, obviously, we've got this polar vortex about half the country, and it's an intense energy. I noticed a lot of people were flying off the handle yesterday, including myself. And yesterday was a pretty powerful day. It packed a lot of punches. So we're headed into this eclipse energy. So the first eclipse is February 17th. And you know I'm going to be talking a lot about this eclipse, the solar eclipse. I have a lot to say about that. The second, that's the solar eclipse. Then on March 3rd, we have a total lunar eclipse. Okay, so February 17th, we have the solar eclipse, which comes with Chinese New Year on that day, plus it's an 11 day, really powerful. And then we have March 2nd and 3rd, because it starts at the March 2nd, the end of the 2nd, it goes into March 3rd for this total lunar eclipse. Only reason I'm mentioning this is because this will be the only total lunar eclipse of this year and the last one on Earth until December 31st of 2028. And I can only help but think how I can't even imagine what December 31st of 2028 going into the year 2029 with a lunar eclipse. I mean, whoa. So anyway, when I saw that, I thought I better talk about that. Anyway, so this eclipse energy that I'm talking about, it's about a 6-week period. So it starts about 3 weeks before the first eclipse, which is February 17th. So we're about ready to start this energy, right? And then we have the eclipses, and then it will be about 3 weeks after that. So for the next several weeks, we're going to be feeling this kind of chaotic energy, and it's a large energy. And what it does is it brings accelerated change. It might bring destiny alignment into your life. It might bring karmic revelations to your life. And I'm talking about the next few weeks here, right? Starting pretty much now. And it will also bring major life turning points, like new beginnings, which the solar eclipse is all about new beginnings, where the lunar eclipse is about a profound release. So you clear out what no longer serves you for your significant personal growth. And interesting enough, I have a class coming up with Julianne Siegel about feng shui, and we're going to be talking about clearing out what you can clear out for your personal growth. This is a very important time. So when I look at the key meanings of the eclipse season, it does mean a cosmic clean out. So this might trigger you on some way, like all of a sudden, I just need to get rid of this stuff. I need to get rid of old bad habits, old patterns, maybe even relationships that are just not right for you, because you're coming into alignment right now. There will be, during this period that I'm talking about, fated transformations. So that means things like all of a sudden you may end a job, you may end a relationship, you may begin a job, you may begin a new relationship. So fated things that happen that actually move you towards your true path. And also the solar eclipse, which is a new moon energy, it encourages, again, new beginnings and fresh starts. And the lunar eclipse amplifies emotions and brings back some deep revelations and maybe a powerful release of what's been holding you back. So how do we navigate this eclipse season? Embrace change. I think one of the key things for this year of the horse is going to be change. So embrace it. It's going to be your friend, okay? Because inevitably we're going to have some shifts here. Make some time for self-reflection. Let go of anything that you can let go of, and trust the process. Okay? Just trust this process. So that's this energy. So when people say, Kellee, what is going on with this energy? It's this energy. This is exactly what I just described, okay? Now on January 27th and 28th, we have a big deal situation. Mars and Pluto, there'll be a conjunction. And in Vedic astrology, it is in Capricorn. So Mars is intense energy. It can be war. It can be, it's war. It's intense energy. Pluto is transformation. And when you have them in a conjunction, they come together in the same sign of Capricorn. Capricorn represents government. So it can bring intense conflict. It can bring, when these two planets come together, it can bring earthquakes and volcanoes. So Mars rules conflict and it rules aggression. And then Pluto governs power and control. And they're both in Capricorn again, which is government. So I think that we might feel some real explosive energy, 27, 28, coming up in just a few days. It could even be, certainly with this weather, it could be. So you've been hearing about these exploding trees that it gets so cold. I don't know. I'm from LA. I never heard of this one. And I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I was like, whoa, that's like a Mars and Pluto conjunction. I'll have to look at that tree's chart to see what that is. Anyway, so during this period of time, bring some peace to yourself, however that looks, but bring some peace to yourself. So now I want to talk about what we're going to talk about today, and that's how to stay grounded during these times. So the world is feeling heavy. Now, Dr. Shirley Impellizzeri and I will be doing a show every Tuesday starting on February 17th, talking about, tips and how to stay psychologically sound during these times. These are what I will call, I'm going to change up the energy for a second. These are sacred opportunities on Earth at this time. So if you signed up for Earth, we're all here right now, this is time for sacred opportunities. So look at everything as a sacred opportunity, everything that's going on. So how do we stay grounded when the world feels heavy? Well, and I will say this, it is completely normal to feel the weight of the world. It just is, especially in these challenging times that we have. So the feeling maybe of being ungrounded or energetically drained, I hear this one a lot. So it's a signal that our nervous system and our energetic field, that we're overloaded. So how do we stay emotionally and energetically present? And that is really crucial for navigating these periods with resilience. Resilience is everything. I talk about that in my book, Cracked Open, about resilience. I think what got me through my life has been an ability for resilience. I think everybody can cultivate that. So staying spiritually grounded during these challenging times on Earth is vital. It's absolutely vital for maintaining peace and clarity, and again, resilience. That's a word that will keep coming up here. So it's about consciously anchoring yourself, if you will, when the external world feels turbulent. So here are 5 practical tips that you can do. Number 1, prioritize your daily sacred stillness. Okay, would be non-negotiable here, because even if you just take 5 minutes, that can make a profound difference. So this could be meditation, breath work, prayer, or simply sitting in silence and connecting to your inner self. And the key there is to detach from external stimuli and consciously connect with your spiritual core. It's really important. Now, why does this work? Because it creates what we call a dedicated space for your inner peace. Like when I meditate, I have a certain place I go to in my house, and that's where I meditate. And I sit in the silence, and that's what I do. My dog Charlotte comes in. Otis doesn't want anything to do with it. But Charlotte's right there. She's my meditative girl. And we go into and start with certain prayers, and then I go into meditation. And that I have been consistent with forever, for 20-something years at this point. So it's a dedicated time. Even if you just do 5 minutes, it trains your brain to do this. It sets your system up with this. It's really, really important. So it creates a dedicated space that allows you to clear, if you will, energetic clutter. So number 2, implement strong energetic boundaries. So when the world feels heavy, it is easy to absorb collective anxiety and fear and negativity. So what do? We visualize a shield or a bubble before going out. You can do it as soon as you wake up. You could have a protective bubble of white or golden light around you that only allows love and positivity to enter, and it deflects anything else. You can do this thing, it's called a return to sender. If you suddenly feel, and this happened to me the other day, unexplainably either heavy or sad or anxious, anxiety is a big one with this, silently ask yourself, and this is what I had to do the other day, is it mine? Because if it's not, I consciously intend to return it to sender with consciousness to it. I figured out, and it's funny, it was not me, but I was able to just send that right back. I haven't had that experience in a long time. Also, do what we call a mindful media diet. Okay, drastically limit consumption of news and social media that can trigger fear or anger. So choose specifically instead, maybe short times to get informed rather than be constantly immersed. And why this works is it empowers you to manage your energetic field. And that's important because it prevents overwhelm and it protects your inner peace from external turbulence. Very, very important. Okay, number 3, deep earth grounding. Reconnect the physical stability of the earth. So spend time in nature. I can't right now. It's frankly -7. I cannot. So I can't sit by a tree. But I can, and this is what I do. Seriously, I sit by my window and I love the birds. I watch the birds. Of course, then I had to go out, literally bundle up and go out and feed the birds because they're going through food fast, guys. Farm and fleet coming up. Anyway, it's important to spend time, if you can, even just looking out the window, okay? You can also do that root visualization where you imagine roots growing from the sides of your feet or the soles of your feet down into the core of earth. You can feel that energy. That's a really good way to do it. And the reason that works is the physical and energetic connection to Earth's stable energy here. It helps to dissipate stress and anxiety. And it even helps with scattered thoughts because it will bring you back into the body and into the present moment. It's easy to get scattered with these energies. Okay, it's easy. It takes a master to go, well, I'm going to pull this back in, start all over again. Here we go. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Number 4, practice radical acceptance of what is. Okay? Much spiritual ungrounding comes from this resisting reality. I wish things were different. I wish it was the 70s again. I loved it. But it's not. So, wishing things were different or clinging how they should be. Oh my God, the shoulds. It's just not accurate. So when you have to look at this is what's happening now. Okay, so it's not about condoning negativity or any of that. It's really radical acceptance. And once you can do that, and this is why I think this is the most important thing I'll probably say all night. The reason it's so important is it helps you conserve your vital energy. Okay, that otherwise you might be spending your energy on frustration or fighting reality. It allows you to operate actually from a place of inner peace, even when external circumstances are chaotic. And by the way, they are going to really even get more chaotic. And you think, Kelly, how is that possible? And I'll just say this. Years ago, I studied with a guru. And I could say a lot of things about that experience, but the thing that was the most important is that she did teach me how to meditate in a deep way. And she taught me how to meditate in the middle of the crisis and loud energy in New York City, LA. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter what was going on. She used to say, look, you can't just sit in a cave and meditate. You just can't. You have to be able to have this peace in the middle of chaos. And that was such an important realization for me. And it's important that everybody understands that. So in the middle of chaos, because we are, again, with this eclipse energy probably ramping up again. Okay, so you want to be able to still yourself. There you go. That's why that radical acceptance is really important. And the last thing I'll say about this is you want to embrace the lighthouse consciousness. So that means instead of trying to fix or save everyone, focus. And I said this to James, and I had this talk the other day about this. We talked a lot about this. Focus on being a steady source of light. Okay, because you tend to your own spiritual well-being first. And what is important is be a light for others. But you don't have to save them. You don't have to go out and fix somebody. Instead, consciously carry that love, that compassion. Remember that because you can't pour from an empty cup. It's really important that you focus on maintaining your own spiritual center here. Very, very important here. And the last thing I want to talk about is the difference between spiritual grounding and spiritual bypassing. Because maybe you've heard that term, the spiritual bypass. Like they act like they're spiritual, but they're not. It's like such a bypass. Because really, when you're in it spiritually and you're spiritually grounded, that means you have integrated your full human experience, your pain, your joy, your shadow, whatever it happens to be, with spiritual connection to it. So you go through all of these different transformations, but when you're spiritually connected, so you didn't run away from these situations. You dealt with it. You deal with it. You face challenges, I'll say honestly, and you do that to grow. It's really important. It's like you have the wisdom. You understand. You do it for the wisdom. You get through that. That wisdom is the reward for going through all of this. But spiritually, you have to take that step. And a spiritual bypass, when we use that term, it might use spiritual concepts like love or light. I send you love or light, blah, blah, blah. But it's to avoid difficult emotions, right? Or trauma or real life problems. And what happens when you do that, it creates a false narrative and a false sense of progress, frankly. You haven't really gone that far on your road. And because it's detaching from humanity instead of healing through it and for it. So the key difference in spiritual grounding and spiritual bypassing is one is integration of everything that has gone on in their life, and the other one is called avoidance. So Shirley and I will be talking about that one because, I think it's time to, if you can, look at everything here. The messier, the better. You just get through it all. So again, one embraces a messy reality. And that's really what the human condition is and the human experience is, for a deeper wholeness. We do this for a deeper wholeness. And the other one uses spirituality as to escape from it. And that's just, we've all know these folks. Anyway, again, instead of fear during this timeline, let's change that thought process and change our awareness. And because this timeline gives us sacred opportunities. So put that in your hopper. I'll be doing a little video on that and talking about sacred opportunities. It came to me in a meditation the other day, and how lucky we are to be able to have these experiences at this time period. So I'll be talking about that. Okay, everybody. So now that I've kind of gone through a lot of stuff here, I'm probably trying to process all of this. I want to talk about, I want to bring on somebody that I'm so excited about. I want to bring on Julianne Siegel for just a few minutes to talk and answer a couple of questions here. Julianne.
Hi, everyone.
Julianne.
Hi, Kellee.
Hi, I'm so glad to see you today. And you are in Minnesota.
Yes, I'm in the scary place.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
How you look at it, but yeah, and the cold place. So
and the cold, a real ice place.
Yes, exactly.
A real ice place. Oh my gosh, honey. And Julianne and I we are teaching a class together, and it's really fun to teach with Julianne. We're teaching a class called Sacred Spaces, Feng Shui for Life and Work. And Julianne, tell everybody about when it is and what they'll be learning and all of these kind of things.
We're going to do it on a Saturday morning from 10 to 12 on February 7th. Mm-hmm. And we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a great class. We'll start out talking about the year of the fire horse, which is, like Kellee said, is going to be a very fast-paced year. You have to be ready for it because there's going to be a lot of unpredictable things. People really want their freedom, and it's just going to be a lot of, just rebellion and things of that nature. But there's some good things too that we'll talk about, and there will be accelerated technology, things of that level. So depending how you view technology, is that a good thing or bad things? But it will get accelerated this next year and a lot of stuff. So we'll talk about some of the ways to cope with that. But before we get into the feng shui part, we're going to do a nice meditation for grounding. And then we're going to teach feng shui, and we'll also teach decluttering as part of that, because before you can create a nice space for yourself, that's the number one step, and very important for people to know that.
Because if your place is cluttered, it can prevent energy from coming in, right?
Right. And you'll feel cluttered. You will, when you declutter your home, it's amazing how much freer you feel. You feel free and you can move through your life so much better. It's the same with if your house isn't grounded, you will not feel grounded. So we'll kind of work on ways to do that, to help ground yourself through your house, to feel more balanced. Like if you've ever felt chaotic, like you were talking about all this chaos, and you looked around your space and you were in your office and it was chaotic, then a lot of times you'll notice that you feel chaotic as well. So this is one way to help yourself. Now with feng shui, I think it's really important to know that when you're working on your space and where you live in your environment, which is feng shui, it's also very important to work on your inner self, because the two go together. You're always working on your inner self as we're working on our outer self. But we're going to focus on ways to work on the outer self to see how we can have a better life. We'll work with the feng shui bagua. I'm going to go a deeper dive than I normally do with the feng shui bagua and how to manifest the things that you want to have happen in your life, and work with the elements, how to create a nice feel in your home. Because I always say, when you work with interior design and feng shui, it not only makes a space look good, but it makes it feel good. So that's what the goal is, to have it feel good so that it helps you feel good. So like I said, it works hand in hand, and we're just going to have a great time. We always have fun when we
always have fun. It's always a lot, and we answer a lot of questions from people, and you can have your, whatever your question is about your office, your home, your relationship.
Yeah,
Julianne has the answer.
Well, I hope most of the time, yeah. There's a lot of schools of thought in feng shui. So there's different types of feng shui, and the one we're going to be focusing on is called Black Sect Feng Shui, and it's the more intuitive, I call it a more artistic way of working with feng shui. It was brought to the Western world to simplify it a little bit, but then there's also compass feng shui and form feng shui. There's different things, but we'll start somewhere. I've been studying feng shui since 1999 and became certified finally in 2003, and I'm still learning. And I work with it every day, but it's amazing how much there is to know. But you got to start somewhere.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. Well, you're the perfect person to ask this question about the about antiques. Do you remember the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, what do you do when you bring home antiques or thrift shop secondhand pieces? Well, first of all, in feng shui, we don't want to bring a lot of that stuff into our home, because it's carrying the energy of other people, and you don't know what they went through, and it can create a negative energy. But then at the same time, I'm also green certified, so it's good to recycle and upcycle things.
Right.
So I say use that as a minimum. Don't fill your whole house with antiques, so you're going to have all this energy going all over the place. But you can, if you bring something in, I tell people to clean it really well. You'll have to, whatever it is, you'll have to see, can you clean it with soap and water, or what do you need to do to clean it? And then you just want to space clear it like you would any room. Take sage stick and then go around the object with a sage stick and sage it. You can also, if you don't like working with smoke, I just yesterday I put up on my Facebook page. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a Palo Santo spray. Have you heard? Palo Santo is another way. They have sticks that you can burn, and it's a little.
I know the sticks. I didn't know that they made a spray.
They have a spray, so I put on my Facebook page with a link if anyone's interested in that type of thing. So that's good for just rooms, a quick refresh, but also to spray it on objects. If you don't have that, another good thing is to use Florida water. So I take Florida water and mix it with, use water and put a little bit of called Florida water in it. You can find it
Florida, like the state.
It's called Florida water, like the state, but it's not.
It's not water from Florida.
It's a special kind of it's a liquid, and I mix it with water, so I dilute it and I put it in a spray can and I spray it. I use that. You can use it on your body and around your body when you need to just kind of center yourself. And you could use it in rooms, and you can use it on objects that you bring in.
What about jewelry? Could you do that? What would you? With my mind, I would think I'd put it out. I'd wash it with soap or salt and let it sit in salt.
A client of mine once gave me she decided to get rid of a whole bunch of jewelry, and she gave me 100 pieces of jewelry. And I couldn't believe
my gosh.
She just gave me this bag. So I took and I space cleared every single piece, and I cleaned every piece. I did everything, and I dried it, and I took knots out. I did everything to make it. And then I gave a lot of it away. I kept some that I love for myself. I'm like, oh, this friend would love this and this person, but I space cleared. It took me.
You changed the energy on it.
Changed the energy before I let it go or used it for myself. So I did that. So
wow, what great tips. Wow. Well, everybody, please join us. We have room in our class. It's a Zoom class, and we will record it, and you will get a copy of it afterwards. But Julianne has all kinds of information for us, and it's going to be February 7th,
10 to 12.
From 10 to 12 Central Time.
Central, yes, that's good
Please
to know.
join us, and you can find us at kellewhite.com under events. And Julianne, how can people reach you?
Julie@metrointeriors.com is my email. My website is juliannesiegel.com.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay warm, Julianne. Thanks for joining me
Okay.
tonight.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
See you soon. Keep me posted.
I will. Thanks.
Bye, honey. Oh, my gosh. It's so funny because we both live in the Midwest, so we're both getting bombarded. Hey, Patty Weeks. Good to see you, honey. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions now. Oh, before I forget this, first of all, Dr. Shirley Impellizzeri and I have our new show on February 17th, and it's called Psychology and the Soul. Psychology and the Soul. And it's a space where psychology and spirituality meet in an awakened era of awareness. So we're going to be talking about, the conversations will be about mental health, consciousness, what it means to be human. We're going to explore topics of what's going on now as in terms of emotional regulation and grief and all kinds of things, resilience and consciousness. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm really excited about that. It starts on February 17th. It's at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's an hour show, so we're really excited about that. And then on March 14th, I have another upcoming online class called Wisdom and Healing for the Empathic Soul. So this will be a transformative class, reclaiming your empathic nature, which is your greatest strength. And I will talk about, learn why empaths are drawn to narcissists and unavailable people, and how to protect your energy, how to live basically as a conscious empath, balanced with compassion and feeling empowered. So join me on March 14th. So here's some questions, but I'm going to go through the questions, and then I'll answer as many as I can, and I'll do as many cards as I can. In fact, you know what? Even before I answer this question, let's pick a card. I love this deck, the Angel Number deck. I love this. I love this deck. My deck is getting worked on. I finished my first deck. I have 5 decks coming out, and I finished my first deck. I'm really excited about it, but it won't be out for a period of time. But it's done, and I'm so excited to be able to use my own cards. But this is a card for everybody today. Here we go. Oh, F me. 911. Okay, everybody. Well, we are in the polar vortex. Oh, my gosh. Inevitability. Well, here we go. I think it is going to be some interesting times ahead. Oh, seriously. I shuffled these cards many a time. Okay, everybody. Well, we're off to the races. Okay. Can't make this stuff up. What are you doing? Okay, Carlene Reese. Kelly, I feel like everything is heavy lately. Yes. Watching the news is very upsetting, so I try not to. Good. Today, I actually went outside and walked around because I felt I needed to ground myself. On my way back, I found a female cardinal feather. Okay, this is so great. I was so excited, Carlene, that you said this. it's the little things that excite me. And yes, there's a special meaning attached to that. So a female cardinal, it's definitely a visit. It's a visit from maybe a mother or a grandmother or a guide. Female, the female cardinals are just beautiful, aren't they? What a wonderful! I saw a male cardinal today in the middle of all this white snow out there. They're easy to spot, and I was so excited, but I couldn't get a picture of him. He flew away. But anyway, it's very, very exciting. It has really good. It's a message from the other side, honey. It's a great message for you. Somebody's watching out for you. Oops. Laura Crum says, Kelly, with the concepts of absolute reality and relative reality and the act of being one, is it not the trials and tribulations of living on earth that create the negative connotation to oneness and not the true meaning that we're all connected? Yes, the relative reality thoughts are that the human race is greater than any other implies that oneness is a harmful banishment of the real world. But would that then create a, not then, would that create a superior mind? Yes, yeah, it would. It would definitely create that. I mean, the whole thing is we really are all one. We really are all connected. And there have been a few times in my life, and other people have discussed this, but where all of a sudden I can see everything as one. Especially when you've been developing spiritually for a long time, you start to have all kinds of experiences. And one of the ones, I've had this a few times, where all of a sudden everything morphs into one, and you can see. It could last a period of a few minutes too. It's a wild experience when that happens, but you can see that we're all one, and you know that we're all one. So there's really no such thing as separate. Earth is just a place where we have duality, but it's not accurate. Shelley Warren says, Kelly, new moon question. Is it better to manifest only one at a time, or more than one is okay? Oh, it's more than one. Anything your heart desires, Shelley, do that. Manifesting is an extraordinary thing. And absolutely manifest as much as you want, okay? Don't limit yourself. Kim says, Kelly, my birthday is 11/24. Okay, 11/24. Let's look at 11/24. So 11/24 is a 9 of hearts. 9 of hearts is, I often find that they are either therapists or lawyers because they have to deal with a lot of emotions. They come in to deal with a lot of emotions, and they're practical. They've got emotions and they're practical. It's a funny combination, but it's an important one. You come to end a cycle to learn all about emotions. So, and Gloria Blumberg, great question you asked, honey. She said, can souls regret their decision to reincarnate at a certain time? Can souls misjudge the time they chose to learn the lesson? Such a good question, and it's really a deep question. Do you have regret now? Do you wish you hadn't? Do you wish you had waited, or do you wish you had come in a different timeline? I think so. I think people do have regrets about certain things, and but the time that they chose, the time that we choose, we work really hard. It's not like a willy-nilly thing. It's not like, I think I'll just, go at this time. Sign me up. It doesn't work that way. You actually put a lot of energy into the idea of incarnating. So there would be no accident on the time frame. You may not like the time frame once you arrive at said time frame, like right now. But there's no accidents. There's no accidents with that. It's such a good question. Such a good question. Renee says, Kelly, recently I was in the car and all of a sudden I heard a male voice laughing, and then a beautiful fox ran in front of my car. Wow, well, foxes are tricksters too. They could be tricksters, but they also bring empowerment. If you heard, a male voice laughing, could have been, was it a guide? Was it somebody that you know? It may have been somebody that you knew that had passed. That's my sense of it. I have chills when I say that. I think that kind of rings for me a little more, I think. And let's see. Renee Rossiter says, can my husband have a card? Because, Sasha, your birthday is Monday. So, yes, you can. So, Monday is the 26th of January, which makes you an Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Diamonds is about, we always say either love or money. to be able, an ace of diamonds always needs to be able to connect. It's so important for an ace of diamonds to connect. Sometimes they forget, and connection is very, very important for an ace of diamonds. And once they find that special person, oh my God, then they're very, very connected, which I know that you have with Renee. So let me get you a card for encouragement. Oops, I'll put my cards over here. Hold on a second. Let's get you a card. Here we go, Sasha. Oh my gosh, Sasha, this is a great birthday present. 000. That's straight from God. Whenever I see a 000, new beginnings, honey, new beginnings. And you know, the thing is, Sasha, your birthday is getting real close to that eclipse. I would say lots of new beginnings here for you. That's great. That's a great one. That's a fabulous card there. Oh my God. That's perfect. Okay, Bailey says, good evening. Any messages from my son? Well, let's get out the Talking to Heaven cards. Those are James's cards, and James Van Fog's cards, and they're fabulous. And so everybody, I know that everybody had heard that James and I are not doing our show together. We're still the best of friends. He is doing his TikTok, and you might want to find him. I think it's on Mondays, but I don't remember the exact time, maybe because it's Pacific time, noon maybe. But he does his whole talks are on TikTok now. I think you guys will enjoy that. Here you go, Bailey. Oh, how sweet is this? It says you are soulmates. You are soulmates. Okay, that's a sign from your son. Soulmates. He loves you, Mom. I just heard a big shout out on that. Just heard that one. Julie says, I'm sending you warmth, and I appreciate it. Lori Sherbert says, Kelly, it's minus 35 here in North Dakota. I think you win. Lori. You and Julianne. Wow, minus 35. Oh dear. Okay. That's a lot. Hey, Isabella, that is unbelievable. Renee says, Kelly, can I get a card from my nephew? He took his life on October 9th. I've got chills. I just heard him say he's okay. Life is a series of choices, he says. Choose love. Always choose love. You know, when that happens, we always have lots of love and compassion. And the soul is learning all kinds of things. Okay, the soul, it's not a punishment. The soul's not going to be punished. You're learning an awful lot. Maybe he signed up for too many things during this time period. Maybe that was just too much, you know. So bless your heart. Yes, Kim Ann, I do love Farm and Fleet. It's the damnedest thing. I would have never thought that a girl from Beverly Hills would end up shopping at Farm and Fleet and loving it. Okay. Hey, Gail, I'm glad you're here. Oh, my gosh, look at everybody. Oh, good. Maura says, thank you for also being here. Oh, you're welcome. And taking my empath class, you're going to love it. Elizabeth Preston, I hope, honey, that you're warm, and I know you're not too far from me, and your horses are taken care of, and I know they are. But, boy, honey, keep me posted. Let me know how you're doing, Elizabeth, because this is really quite a time. Oh, my gosh. KW says, Kelly, I enjoy your show. I spent a whole day at work listening to my dad jokes to bring the energy back after one story about the files. Good for you. I love that you were listening to dad jokes. Dad jokes are hilarious, right? Oh my gosh. Thank you. I love my sweater too. Thank you very much. Hey, Christy, how you doing, honey? So glad everybody here. Debbie Jones. Hey, Debbie. She says, Kelly, it's a crazy day in Georgia. Every heater in the mountains are sold out. Debbie, oh man, that is something else, right? Oh my God, Kelly and the Kellites. Thank you. I think that's so funny. Okay, Matt says, I've been homesick all week with nausea, dizziness, headaches, and I keep feeling like I'm floating. So there's a lot of that right now going on. And I think it's often when I've seen so much of this and heard so much of it, I think we're all having some acceleration of growth. So think of that as you take good care of yourself. And it could be some acceleration here of growth. Bailey says, I have a hip replacement on the 16th, the day before the eclipse. So it is the day before. Listen, Bailey, that will change your life. And you go, girl. On that, the 16th, it'll change your life. I had my gallbladder removed in the middle while the eclipse was going on in 2024, in the middle of the eclipse. So, girl, you'll be just fine. You will be just fine. Yeah, it's 3/3 is a lunar eclipse full moon, and we will be talking a lot about that. So, Marge, you're already feeling the energy? Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Roger says the walk of peace just touches my heart so profoundly with the monks. So amazing, right? Sonia says, Kelly, can I have a card? Yes, you can, honey. Let's see. Let's get you here. Ooh, great card. 4444 Triumph. So remember, everybody, when you see 444 or 4444, these are the angels. And by the way, the thing with the angels is you need to say to them, help me, angels. Okay? They are always around. Put them to work. I need help with this. I need help with that. I literally called on the angels when I put on my freezer coat to go out to feed the birds. So I needed extra help so I wouldn't slip, those kind of things. Again, this whole winter stuff I'm trying to get used to. Marge Webb says, I lived in this area forever and I never heard of exploding trees. Thank you. And your house is surrounded by trees, right? I know, it's just so strange. It is so strange. Oh my gosh. Oh, Laura, I'm glad that you feel grounded when you watch the live videos. Good, honey. Okay, Sonia says, Kelly, may I have a card? Oh, I think I just gave you one. I think so. Now, did I just give you a card? I think I just did. Yes, I just did give you one. And that was a good one, too. Okay. Julie says, Kelly, I start by praying first. That's really a good place to start because it gives you alignment and peace. Me too. I start there and then I just, it's a muscle, everybody. Even if you can just do it for a couple of minutes, it slows you down enough that it aligns you for the day. It aligns you at least for the next hour. Sometimes I'll have to go in and remind myself, all right, time to get grounded again. And I just do it. I think it's important. So Carol says, I've never been able to meditate. Try a guided meditation. Carol, you can go online. There's lots of free ones. A guided meditation. That's where it tells your brain what to do. I am walking through a forest. Oh, I'm walking through a forest. You see? I'm at the beach. It's really important if you can do that. Okay, I think that's really important here. Let's see here. Okay, Lubna says, my son passed last November. He was 25 years old in a motorcycle accident. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. But I became to see him in my dreams. And the last time I saw him, had a gray short hair and his beard short, but gray hair growing on him. He smiled but didn't talk any words to me. So first of all, you had a visit with him. So how that works is when we're asleep, we raise our vibration and they lower theirs to meet us at this wonderful place. And he had a gray short hair and he was only 25. That's very interesting. But he smiled. And often we don't hear them talk. We don't hear them talk. They will smile. You can feel the energy. The other day, a family member was visiting me here and said to me that they had had a dream about my dad and that our father had called them on the phone and started talking to him on the phone. So often spirits on the other side will actually recreate a phone. And sometimes you'll hear words and sometimes it might sound like wonk, wonk, wonk. And you're like, what did they just say? But you get the feeling of it. But I'm thrilled, Lovna, that let's get a card for you, honey. Okay, he says this. This is interesting for you. It was my time to go. It was my time to go. So you might think to yourself, it was an accident. Could this have been prevented? There are exit points. So my thought on that is no, it's an exit point. So Debbie Jones says, hey, Debbie, she says, I had 4 blue jays and 1 beautiful red cardinal and a red-breasted robin all out back at the same time having breakfast. It was beautiful. Okay, Debbie, that's like my favorite thing ever, ever, ever. I love this. Okay, Christy says, Kelly, January 25th is the 5th anniversary of my daughter's passing. I always try and go somewhere, but my little dog is passing. And huge winter storms this weekend. Help, so many memories. Okay, Christy, I have chills. And it's funny, when I saw your name, I was like, I knew she was here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you a card from Christy. From your daughter. But hold on a second. Let's see, Christy. Let's see. Ooh. I will always point you in the right direction. Okay? So I'm hearing about her room. Did you do something in her room? I don't know, something in her room. Go in her room. go spends a little bit of time in there, but then she says go out and like celebrate, make it. I know you can't go out because of the weather, and I get that. Something about celebrating with a cake or cookies or cooking or baking or something like that. And you could certainly say it's for her. She will love it. Okay? Right, Debbie? You miss the 70s? Me too. In California? Me too. Yes, I just gave you a message, Lovna, so that I think that's important here. Okay. Yes, Laura, mindful moments, crazy around, and it is mindful moments will ground you. Yes, in a crazy world. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Yes, Julie, we have to find our inner sanctuary, period, in the message. Hey, Slobodanka, how are you from Melbourne? Good to see you. Hey, Gail King. Hey, Tim and Diane. So you like that idea of a PJ says of a protective shield? Yeah, I think this is really important here. So Lori says, oh, and yeah, Lori, your dear friend Lubna lost her son. Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, oh my gosh, God bless her. Hey, Evie. Okay. Ida Long says, Kelly, blessings and gratitude. I love your shows. Thank you, honey. May I have a card about the move that I so want to manifest in the near future? I hurt my back just mid-December. Excuse me. Yes. Ooh, 2020. So I think that means that you'll be seeing things very clearly. 2020, like 2020 vision. And this says bonds. So maybe bonds, making bonds with people. But I know that you will be manifesting your future. Definitely manifesting that. Constance says, Kelly, great information. Thank you. It's a lot of information, but I think it's really important. Mary Gunji says, Kelly, it's so cold here in Japan. No kidding. And tomorrow is your birthday? Well, the 23rd, then, Mari, is a very special day. Wear yellow. Wear yellow if you can. Yellow it heightens that energy for tomorrow. I think that's a good one. Hey, Lee Star, you're so welcome. You are so well. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, I know, Janice. It's an interesting time period. That's for sure. Okay, Julie says, Kelly, I'm moving tomorrow. Can I get a message? Can I please get a message from my guides? You bet. Well, let's get you a message from the angels, Julie. 6-6. Revisit. So maybe since you're moving, go back, make sure you have everything. Revisit things that you need to. But congratulations on your thing. I think that's great that you're moving. Joette says, Kelly, thank you for acknowledging the collective turbulence and sharing practical strategies. Okay, thank you, Joette. I appreciate. My middle name is Jo, Kelly Jo. I'm not kidding. I like Joette. That's so cute. So I think we do have to have practical strategies to manage this period of time. We just do, because the energy is not going to all of a sudden, stop. I mean, it's energy. It's large energy. And we're headed into that. It's like I don't want to say the word vortex, but it kind of is a vortex of energy. This eclipse energy. It's pretty, it can be quite turbulent. So you do want to practice stilling the storm. You do want to practice meditation. You don't want to take on what is not yours. Setting boundaries with other people. It's really, really important. It's so important here. Oh my gosh. Okay, JMR says, Kelly, can I have a card? If you have time, yes. I'm the highlight of your week. That's so sweet. Well, thank you. Yes, you get a card there. Here we go. Ooh, this is a good one. 3003. Inspiration. I think that this year of the fire horse on that eclipse, tell you what, that's going to be very inspiring and bring a lot of passion to people. I do. I think it's going to be extraordinary. Oh, I love this card. Kay Cannon Delano says, Kelly, how do you know when you truly get a divine calling? You feel it. You know you have to go in that energy. You have to go, whatever that divine calling is. Like, I couldn't do anything else than this if my life depended on it. It's a calling. And I've had this calling since I had my head injury, actually. And you start to have this knowing, and it feels in alignment. That's why I was talking about spiritual bypass. Spiritual bypass is such a waste of time. Really, you want to go in with this and lean into it. If it feels like the calling, it is a calling. So I'm sure if you're asking the question, then you're having a divine calling. I think it's really important. Lee says, Kelly, I always seem to see 911 on the clock all the time, and your twins were born on 9/11. Well, it means, a heightened sense of reality, I suppose, Lee. 911. And I think that was the card I chose for everybody. So here we go. Yes, Evie, you can have a card tonight. Here we go. Let me get you a card, Evie. Ooh, 808, security. Security is a great card to have. Security is important, and really everybody take good care of yourself for this. If you're in this part of the world where this ice storm and the snow and the cold, with your animals, take care of them, please. Oh my gosh, please take care of your animals. Okay, let's see. So Shemanina, yes, a card for you for the message for the year. Here we go. 999, release. Time to release things. Okay, Cheryl says, Kelly, can I have a card? I'm at a financial turning point and can use some advice. Well, sure. Let's get you a card here. Ooh, interesting. 413, synergy. So some things will come together for you. Okay, that's a really good one. Lady Luck says, Kelly, I've been finding a ton of feathers lately and seeing angel numbers several times a day. What are my guides and angels trying to tell me? They're trying to help you with your consciousness, making an awareness. They want you to know that they're there. In other words, you're not alone in the world. They are with you. So that's really, really important here. Okay. Debbie, yes, you can have a card. You've had a rough day? I get it. Here we go, honey. Ooh. 2713. 2713. Mindfulness. Be mindful of everything, Debbie. And I think for Debbie, this is what it means for you, honey. Don't take on everybody's stuff. Don't take on too much stuff. Okay, you know that. That's an important one. Okay, Anne says, hey, Anne Ribordi. She says, Kelly, we met at All Souls. Oh, I had so much fun at the All Souls event. It was in Wisconsin. It was so much fun with Jen Weigel. It was so good. My birthday is 4/16. Do you think that a baby soul chose their parents? Yes, we are trying to adopt, and I'm hoping a baby soul will choose us. So souls are not babies. They're born into a baby body, but they're have had many lifetimes. Remember myself as a baby, like, oh my God, this is so frustrating, because I got to start all over again. So yes, so there would be an agreement before we incarnate that soul would come through you. There's always an agreement. So yeah, you choose them, they choose you, and that's how that works. And this is very exciting. I'm sure that you have one coming. This is very exciting. And your birthday is 4/16, April 16. April 16 is a 5 of diamonds. And what's so important about that, Anne, is 5 of diamonds is always connected to angels. And what I was talking about with angels, let's get you an angel card. I've got chills. Yeah, there's something going on here. Interesting. 303, forgive. So maybe forgive if there's anything you're holding on to. Don't worry, honey. Don't worry. Okay? Something is going good here. Beth says, Kelly, I feel a bit overwhelmed, hoping for positivity. And 1019, a lot of people are feeling that way. 1019 is a 3 of clubs. Put your energy into something creative. That will help. When you start to get anxious and overwhelmed, it's a twist of the dial. Put your mindset into something creative, okay? Because it's energy. It has to go someplace. So everybody, join Julianne and me on February 7th if you're able to. It's going to be a great class. And I will see everybody next Tuesday, and we'll talk more about the astrology that's coming up in February, and I've got lots to say about a lot of things. So thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. Take care, my friends. I'll see you soon.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.